An interesting question, Paul. What are your top 5 sports movies of all time?
Pete, I'm the master of segues, and that's exactly that's exactly what I was doing, Pete. I just easily bumped set spiky right there.
Yep.
Set you up for that. So yeah. Well, number 5, Pete, again, hot take. I'm gonna put Hustle. I think it's that well done that it deserves the number 5 spot. And I think eventually maybe it'll go higher. Obviously, to beat these other films, it's extremely difficult, which is why I didn't put it higher. And I think in some of my other lists, I'm learning from these lists as well. Sometimes I come in a little too hot, and I'm ranking like my number 2s. Sometimes I'm noticing my number 2s are a little bit of a weak spot for me.
You always start off strong, and then you
my number 2 is just such a curveball.
Well, we always mess it up.
So I need to utilize the number 5 spot better. So this is why I'm putting Hustle number 5. It's
number 5 needs to be that film that you're like, nobody's gonna like this pick, but it's important for me.
I'm learning, guys. So that's my number 5. Number 4, maybe the greatest pure baseball film of all time, and it's Major League. There's no film I could watch over and over again, laugh. Charlie Sheen is and Wesley Snipes and Tom Berenger, and Corbin Burnson. I mean, look, I can keep going with this cast. Darn.
Very good. What you got at 3?
I had a quote too, and I had an impression. I messed it up. It's either an arm thing or a leg thing.
Oh, that the coach?
Yeah, that's the coach.
So bad.
Yeah,
our impression.
Adam Sosnick can do a better coach impression than me. But so yeah, Major League's number 4. Number 3, I just mentioned it before, but it's Moneyball. Moneyball is such an excellent film. Again, starts with the book, which is the premise, and then the script. It's such a, when you read the book and then you read the screenplay, you appreciate a screenwriter, because it's not easy to do what that guy did, and he made an excellent script out of an excellent topic, and both people deserve credit for that one. Number 2, I mean, is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. It's Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Just such an excellent film. Pete, sometimes I just you want to play catch, Pete? Just it's emotional. I
like that.
Yeah, it's just an emotional film. It's one of the first films for me where I saw just, again, kind of the loop of great writing, where it's like you set something up in the very beginning and you don't really come back to it, and then at the very end it's like boom, it connects, and you're just like, oh my goodness, like wow. And it was
one of the first sort of dramatic films that I saw. Up until then, it was all comedy or
action,
animation or action. There wasn't a lot of drama.
I'm 7 years old, I think, when that comes out, right? Is that 87?
Maybe. If that's
I mean, I'm 7 years old, guys. So this is, like Pete's saying, this is a first kind of hard-hitting film probably I saw. So and then number 1, man, it's one of the films, it's maybe the first film I ever cried in the theater for, and it wasn't even that sad of a moment, but that's how just emotionally attached I was to this film, and it's Rudy.
Yep.
And there is no better football film out there than Rudy. I mean, the sequences are excellent, but just the story itself, obviously this is the legitimate classic underdog story.
This is a movie that you can give to anybody who hates sports, and they would walk out of it inspired, and they would love this movie. I challenge anybody to hate this movie.
You want to challenge Pete? I'm going to drop the gauntlet right now. Jake Fenske hates this film. You know why? Because he hates Notre Dame. Yeah, and I'm like, how do you hate Rudy? Like, he's like, no, I just.
Jake's the little kid friend that asks if we can watch the USC game.
Yeah. Can you turn on the Purdue game?
In the Rudiger house.
Can we watch the Purdue game? No, we can't watch the Purdue game. First of all, Purdue sucks.
What a dumb reason to hate this inspiring film.
Yeah, this is a call out to Jake Fenske. And you're ridiculous. This is shameful. An excellent film. Watch it again. Maybe as an adult, drop some of your things for it. But Rudy is, again, like, this film inspires so much. I actually made a highlight film with the Rudy music as a freshman. Like, you want to talk about one of my first actual video productions. And by the way, I crushed it. For all you wondering if I crushed it, and I did. And I made an emotional freshman football highlight film with the Rudy music, and it was excellent. But Rudy, yeah, Rudy's my all-time. I need to watch that again. Football season's coming up soon, so
It's a good one. It's a good list, Paul. It's not as good as mine because mine is the perfect list. Thank you, Jake Fenske, for starting that one, because that is my favorite thing that he's ever said in his life. Because he was so matter of fact about it. He was just like, all right, here's my list, and it's just a perfect list. And it was such it was such a throwaway line for him, but now it's like my favorite thing in the world.
Guys, make sure you check out our episode 1 with the original Top Gun. You're going to see Jake Fenske, Peter Bush. But yeah, that's what Pete's talking about. He crushes it in that one. And we'll have them back on for a future episode.
My list, it's pretty baseball heavy because, for me, baseball movies are inspirational and I just love them. I relate to them.
This is where you already lost the list.
Yeah. Well, I got some great ones here. The ones honorable mentions that I couldn't put on my list, but I think that are really good are like Major League. I really wanted that in my top 5.
How you admitted it is, I'm curious to see what you put in.
Dodgeball, I think, is a fantastic sports movie. It's hilarious.
I didn't even think about that you're right. Dodgeball's great.
It's one of the funniest movies I've seen. And then a classic from my youth was White Men Can't Jump. Like I
actually had that and I crossed it out for Major League.
Great movies, not in my top 5.
Yeah,
my top 5.
Let me add one more.
Go ahead.
Let me add one more honorable mention. And this is a sneaky underground kind of film, but it's Above the Rim. And I don't know if you saw it, but the soundtrack was excellent. It had some of the better basketball. Like we hadn't seen really basketball that good. It's right before White Men Can't Jump, I believe, or right after that. But it's an excellent film. Tupac's in it. The soundtrack is hot, but
it's hot.
Oh, Remember the Titans. I hated omitting that one. I love Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
I heard keeping that one out. And then
your list is good. There's no room for those ones, even though those are good movies. So
yeah, for sure.
Number 5 for me was just it's probably not everyone's favorite baseball movie at all, but I don't know, this movie spoke to me and it was something that I really loved watching, and I think it's because I love Kevin Costner so much. It was for Love of the Game.
Oh, I love that one.
It was such a good movie and he did so well. And him in sports movies like Draft Day and obviously Field of Dreams, like Bull Durham, like he just has a connection with baseball and he knows how to be a baseball player in his roles. And this movie was so focused on him and pitching this perfect game that it was just, I loved the journey. That's my number 5.
Well, and what I love about the film, and I'll be quick about this, but what I love about that film too, and I don't know if you've experienced this, Pete, but I've had, kind of like the spoiler alert, the end of the film, obviously he has this perfect game and it's supposed to be like this pivotal moment in his life. And then he's just by himself in the hotel room and it feels empty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've actually experienced that before, and it kind of just shows the importance of finding somebody and again sharing the experience with people, because victories by themselves are empty. And so that movie hit home for me because, like I said, and not just once, it's been a couple times I've had these like victories and it's like cool, no one to share it with, and it sucks. So yeah, that movie definitely hits home. So
it's great. It's great. Top 5.
You're gonna see me cry on this podcast.
Right now, I'm crushing it already with my number 5 pick. Number 4 is a sports movie, and it's one of my favorites, and it's going to be the subject of a future episode coming up very soon. It's The Karate Kid. Karate Kid is so amazing. It's pretty. As ridiculous as a lot of the acting and everything like that, it's just a great film from start to finish.
Yeah.
Oh boy, look at that face. That face is the face of defeat. I just
didn't think of that as a sport film because I don't consider karate a sport.
There's a competition there.
Where it's competition. I don't consider it a sport. So I think it's a different conversation. I would not have included that in the sports film.
It's in the Olympics.
Olympics is a bunch of competition. I don't think all Olympics is sports. No.
Yeah, it's all sports.
I meant sports like the general. Okay, that's fine.
Karate Kid's a sports film.
It's not a sports film. I've never heard it included.
This just elevated I've only given you 2 picks and I've already won.
You haven't won yet.
Come on.
Keep going.
Number 3, Moneyball, my favorite.
All right, Moneyball. That's good.
One of my favorite movies. I thought Brad Pitt was amazing in it. Jonah Hill was incredible. Even
the daughter was excellent.
The scout was, I think he was a real scout in the MLB. He's done a couple of films.
I think you're the first person to call it the MLB.
It's the ML because I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, number 2, Field of Dreams, for every reason that you've already said. And number 1, you can't have a better sports movie ever. I don't care what Jake Fenske says. It's Rudy.
Wow. We actually we had the same first 3.
Our first 3 are identical.
Wow.
Unprecedented. It's never happened on a list before.
It's like we're brothers.
It's almost like we're related.
Yeah. Wow. I'm impressed. Yeah, I think the biggest debate, Pete, is Karate Kid a sports film?
Yes, it is.
Guys, please comment below on whether or not you think Karate Kid is a sports film, because that is my biggest debate right now.
It's the same debate as is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's not a Christmas movie.
Yes, so, it is.
No, it's not.
Absolutely a Christmas.
It has nothing to do with Christmas. That's the time.
No, it's surrounded by Christmas. There's Christmas.
Yeah, it's surrounded by Christmas, but it's not Christmas. It's not a Christmas film.
It's a Christmas movie. It
has no thematic Christmas elements to it. Same as Karate Kid is not. Karate is not a sport. It's a skilled competition.
Sport, by definition, is competition.
No, that's not the definition.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Roger Google. That's not definition.
Come on.
Of sports. Guys, we're going live. We're going live with this definition.
Do it live.
An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment.
Okay, that's exactly what a karate competition is. Thank you.
I guess I'm more.
No further questions.
Yeah, all right, maybe I lost that debate.